Ever wonder just how powerful this man truly is? The 10 divine kings, figures once revered across realms, now follow him like loyal subordinates. Night wraiths and ghost envoys, feared by many, appear at his call and vanish at a mere gesture. Even the Thunder Empress, wielding divine lightning, once tried to strike him down in fury. Yet before the thunder could reach him, he absorbed it, calmly, effortlessly, as if it were no more than a breeze. He raised no weapon, spoke no threats, just cast a single glance. From that moment on, not a soul in heaven or earth dared challenge his authority. He is the king of all worlds, Yuan Wu. And now, standing atop a school rooftop, he gazes into the distance, as memories long buried begin to surface once more. 3 years ago, a sudden accident took the lives of his parents. He barely survived, but the injuries left his body frail and weakened ever since. Not long after the tragedy, strange phenomena began emerging across the world. Unusual beings, mutated, mysterious, started appearing in plain sight. But what baffled everyone was that each of these incidents ended without explanation, buried in silence, as if someone didn't want the truth to get out. Just then, a teasing voice broke the silence. Yuan Wu, you finally had enough and decided to jump? Yuan Wu turned his head. The speaker was none other than a classmate of his, the school's resident troublemaker. With a smirk, the boy added, "At least pick a spot farther from me so I don't get blamed for your mess." Yuan Wu gave a half smile, sat down cross-legged, and replied, "Well then, if you're not going down with me, I guess I'll hold off for now." Without another word, Yuan Wu picked up his bowl of herbal medicine, the same bitter brew that kept him alive day after day. He shot a cold glance at the boy. "What do you want this time? Spit it out." The troublemaker clicked his tongue and pointed behind him at the girl standing there. "I got you a favor. Asked you to help with a special effects clip for our seniors video channel, a scene about running into a monster. And what did you say? You told her to stop daydreaming and go study instead. You try to humiliate me, or what?" Yuan Wu chuckled, eyes gleaming with mischief. "Monsters? No problem. How about a romantic comedy? The Senior and the Beast?" That was crossing the line. The girl was the troublemaker's dream girl, and Yuan Wu had just mocked her. Without warning, he kicked over Yuan Wu's medicine bottle, then grabbed him by the collar, snarling, "I'm sick of that arrogant mouth of yours. Always acting like you're above everyone else. Back in high school, you always stole the spotlight." The troublemaker's eyes blazed with resentment. "You're not that golden boy anymore, the so-called sports and arts prodigy. What? You still think you're invincible? Look at you now. You're barely clinging to life like some pathetic excuse of a man." Yuan Wu didn't argue. He simply turned his head and spat out a mouthful of blood. The scene caught the troublemaker off guard, and for a moment, he looked genuinely shaken, until he scoffed and yelled, "Oh please, tomato juice again? I've had it with your drama. You've been saying you're dying since 3 years ago. Can't you come up with a new trick already?" Before the words had fully landed, Yuan Wu's foot came swinging toward him. In the next instant, his figure vanished sideways, fast as a shadow. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with the back of his hand, then grinned coldly. "Sure, I'm not who I used to be, but you guys? You're still not qualified to talk down to me." Just as the troublemaker was about to lunge at Yuan Wu, a loud thud echoed across the rooftop. Something had fallen. A corpse, shriveled, hollow-looking, with eerie green lights flickering beneath its skin. Everyone froze, stunned into silence by the sudden, horrific sight. But that wasn't the worst of it. That body didn't fall by accident. It had been thrown up by something. The classmates went pale, paralyzed by fear, and no one dared make sound. Because the thing that stood on the rooftop was no ordinary human. In its palm, a glowing green eye, and behind it, twisted spider-like limbs extended from its back that a walking nightmare. Yuan Wu stared at the creature, heart pounding in his chest. He was scared. But without hesitation, he grabbed a nearby fire extinguisher and hurled it straight at the thing. After all, he was already half a dead man. What was there left to fear? But the moment the extinguisher hit, Yuan Wu realized he had severely underestimated this thing. It felt like striking solid iron. The impact barely made a sound. The creature's body didn't flinch, but its rage did. With a casual flick of its spider-like limb, Yuan Wu's body was flung straight off the rooftop. He never thought that this would be how it all ended, that if survival was no longer an option, then maybe death was the only dignity left. He closed his eyes, ready to embrace the end. No fear, Just silence. Until a voice echoed through his mind. Do you want to live? Yuan Wu's eyes snapped open that he was no longer falling. He was floating in a vast, endless void, and he screamed with all the will he had left. I do. I want to live. I refuse to die like this. Hearing Yuan Wu's answer, the one behind the voice curled his lips into a faint smile. Then, a clear and ethereal command echoed in the void. Activate. In that instant, Yuan Wu's body began to change. His eyes gleamed with a dark, electric blue. Lightning surged across his entire form. Wrapping around him like armor, he descended from the rooftop with effortless grace. A living storm. He could feel it. Raw power coursing through his veins as the thunder surged within him. Yuan Wu knew. The path to kingship had finally begun. In a flash, he reappeared atop the rooftop. The mutant instantly sensed the threat behind him. But just as he turned around, Yuan Wu's fist collided with his face, sending him flying. A system prompt echoed in Yuan Wu's mind. Charge of 50%. Only half his power, yet more than enough to crush the enemy. Watching the creature crash into the distance, Yuan Wu said coldly, "So you call that strength? What a joke." Just then, the ethereal voice returned. Yuan Wu, listen carefully. To prevent your mind from collapsing during the merge, I will enter a dormant state within your body once our fusion is complete. Right now, your body cannot handle the full extent of your power. I will store all excess energy beyond what's needed to keep you alive inside this phone. It will guide you to challenge 9 kings and reclaim their soul cores. From this moment on, your path is yours alone. Whether you rise as a king or fall as an insect, that choice is yours. The man standing before Yuan Wu was no longer human. He was a fully mutated aberrant. Yuan Wu's first true opponent. The mutant narrowed his eyes and growled, "A fragile human with power far beyond your kind. What are you? Did you absorb a soul core? Then why haven't you died yet?" Yuan Wu lowered his gaze to the phone and activated the scanning function. Instantly, data about the mutant began to flicker across the screen. As the scan completed, a message popped up. Soul Core Energy -1. He had barely begun understanding the system, and already it was full of surprises. Curious, he tapped into his own status page and saw something unexpected, a prompt to select a class. Due to his low level, only one option was available, Warrior. But for now, that was more than enough to face the monster in front of him. As he made the selection, the phone burst into a brilliant red light. Yuan Wu stared anxiously, eyes locked on the screen. He was waiting for his first weapon to appear, unaware that the mutant had sensed the incoming threat. Its spider legs began to grow at an alarming rate, and its hands twisted into deadly claws. With a sinister grin, the mutant snarled, "You really think I'll let you get ready? I'm going to tear you apart, one piece at a time." With a guttural roar, the mutant charged forward, hurling several venomous spikes straight at Yuan Wu. Luckily, Yuan Wu's enhanced body held firm. He caught the projectiles mid-air with ease. His eyes narrowed. "He's after the phone. I can't let him interrupt before my weapon arrives." Without hesitation, he hurled the spikes away with all his strength. "Since the day I was born," Yuan Wu shouted, "I've never believed I was meant to be ordinary. And you? You're just a freak with a death wish." In that moment, a flash of red light surged before him. A massive hammer materialized in his grip. His first weapon had arrived. The mutant narrowly dodged his own poison spikes. But as he prepared to counterattack, he froze. The hammer was already in front of his face. With a roar, Yuan Wu swung with everything he had. The hammer struck clean and sent the mutant flying. Yuan Wu roared, "I never stop once a fight begins, especially when it's someone who poses a threat to me." Without pause, he launched into a relentless flurry of blows, pummeling the mutant with everything he had. All these years, I was a walking corpse. No family, no friends. Couldn't even choose how I'd die. But now, everything had changed. With a cry torn from the depths of his soul, Yuan Wu raised his hammer high and brought it crashing down. This final strike was more than just an attack. It was 3 years of pain, silence, and fury unleashed. Starting today, Yuan Wu, rise from the ashes. The mutant let out a piercing scream. Mind racked with confusion that weren't humans supposed to be weak? Disposable? Then why couldn't it fight back? Just then, a message appeared across its body. Soul core recyclable. Yuan Wu's eyes narrowed. He wanted to ask the system what that meant. But before he could, his weapon vanished from his hand. The strain had been too much. His body still unstable. Yuan Wu stumbled and coughed up blood. So that was it. His soul core energy was too low to keep the weapon active. One thing was clear. He needed to grow stronger. Fast. As the mutant's body began to disintegrate, its energy was drawn into the system for recovery. Streams of raw soul essence surged into Yuan Wu's body, filling him with a sensation unlike anything he'd ever known. A rush of power, of clarity, of life. Just as he silently reveled in the surge, a prompt flashed across the phone screen. Victory confirmed. For the defeated, execute or subjugate. The creature before him, half spider, half beast, was beaten, but the blood of a wild, defiant species still pulsed through its veins. Through clenched teeth and a twisted smile, it growled, "I'm going to rip your family apart, limb by limb." Yuan Wu didn't turn around. His voice came cold and sharp. Activate innate skill. No one knew what was running through his mind. 3 years of frailty had left him no room for hope. Only resolve. If the gods have chosen me, Yuan Wu roared, then what does a dying man like me have to fear? He raised his hand and shouted, "By royal decree, I'll make him bow for eternity." And in that moment, a massive golden eye appeared in the sky, its sheer pressure crashing down like a mountain. The mutant's bravado shattered. That gaze alone felt like it was crushing his soul. Yuan Wu spoke calmly. "A second ago, I was just an ordinary man, but you missed your chance to finish me." A crooked smile spread across his face. "Now, I'm a god." He looked down at the creature like it was nothing more than dirt. "From this moment on, every time you see me, you drop to your knees and call me daddy." As the last word left his lips, a beam of golden light shot from the eye above, piercing the mutant clean through. No pain, no wounds. But the moment their eyes met, something in the beast's heart broke, that a fear he couldn't explain began to bloom. He tried to resist, tried to stand his ground, but his body refused. That he collapsed to his knees, then fell forward, forehead to the floor, tears welling in his eyes. That a proud beast warrior, now kneeling in reverence before Yuan Wu, and through gritted teeth came one broken, humiliated word, "Daddy." Yuan Wu stared down, expressionless, his voice calm, yet resolute. "From this moment on, I am reborn. Just like the god inside me said, whether I end up a worthless insect or rise as the destroyer of worlds, that choice belongs to me." He glanced coldly at the mutant. "You can go now. I know you're not convinced. But one day, you'll see for yourself just how powerful I've become." The night was dark. The wind howled. A night made for bloodshed. Yuan Wu looked into the distance and whispered, "Mom, Dad, looks like I won't be joining you just yet. I'm okay. Really. So don't worry." Back at home, he still couldn't fully process what had happened. A chance encounter, a miracle, even. He could feel the presence of something divine inside him, and even his phone pulsed with godly energy. Out of respect, Yuan Wu gave that voice a name. He called it Ju. He checked the phone again. His soul core energy was slowly draining. That confirmed one terrifying truth. If it ever hits zero, he'll still die. As Yuan Wu browsed through the phone's features, one interface caught his attention again, the badge archive. There was an image of the mutant he had just defeated. Wait, does this mean if I beat someone, I can use their abilities too? And they're ranked. He paused. I probably have a rank too, he thought. Then he exhaled slowly, eyes sharpening. There's only one thing I want, to become a king. If the first one was just a grunt, then the real targets are the 9 divine kings. The thought weighed heavy. If they're truly that powerful, they could probably wipe out continents. Yuan Wu lifted his phone and shouted, "Hey buddy, can you stop napping already? How about this? I'll beat one king, and you go find someone else for the rest. Come on, just give me a sign. A period, a comma, even a cough." No reply. Instead, his soul core energy dropped again. Yuan Wu sighed. "Yep, this system's clearly trying to get me killed." As Yuan Wu scrolled through the phone's menus, he started ranting. "Would it kill you to give me a clue? Where are the divine kings? What do they even look like? Do they like spicy food? Do they get massages when they shower?" After 30 minutes of digging around, he finally gave up. "Nope, nothing. Guess I'll have to figure this out one painful step at a time." Just then, a new tab caught his eye, material refinement. A prompt explained that junk items could be broken down into crystals. Yuan Wu squinted at the shimmering display. These look expensive. If I had a girlfriend, I could probably make her a bracelet out of this. Even better, refinement also yielded gold, and something called soul core orbs. That triggered a memory. The mutant had mentioned them before that he thought I got strong by eating a soul core orb. So that's it, Yuan Wu muttered. These things can actually boost my power. Now that he had god-tier materials in hand, Yuan Wu started thinking strategically. He spent some of his soul core energy to exchange for gold and soul orbs, planning to trade them on the black market. After haggling with the dealer for quite a while, Yuan Wu walked away without making a deal that he never planned to sell. He just wanted information, to learn how valuable these orbs really were. As he crossed the street to head home, Ju Yi suddenly issued a warning from the phone. The system alert popped up. You're being followed. Target, mutant. Yuan Wu smirked. Well, the fish has taken a bait. He turned into a narrow alley. Quiet, empty, and out of sight. Perfect. Even if a fight broke out, no one would come looking. At the end of the alley, he stopped walking. The footsteps behind him did not. A voice called out, cocky and cruel. End of the road, punk. Now hand over the gold and those shiny orbs, and maybe we won't break every bone in your body. Yuan Wu turned around slowly. Eyes glinting, he looked at the cocky teens and smiled. Sure, I'll make you a deal. Beat me in a fight, and you can have it all. If I die, Yuan Wu said calmly, everything I own becomes yours anyway, right? His tone was unsettlingly casual. But the men facing him weren't bluffing. They were mutants, and they looked ready to kill. Yuan Wu raised a hand and spoke coolly. I know you're not ordinary thugs, but I'm not here for you. I want to fight your boss. You guys? Not worth it. It was blatant provocation, on purpose. He'd already read the system briefing. Mutant leaders were obsessed with saving face. Refusing a public challenge? That meant losing everything. Respect, power, fear. One of the thugs, the one with a cap, snapped. His arm elongated grotesquely, and a sick green glow lit up his eyes. You dare challenge our boss? He snarled. I'll make you beg for death before I'm done with you. But before he could strike, a hand landed firmly on his shoulder. A voice, cold as steel, rang out. He's here for me. Stand down. No one moves unless I say so. The younger mutants exchanged glances, worried, but they had no choice. Boss, they muttered, stepping back. The man they called Go stepped forward, his grin sharp and mocking. Well that you've got a mouth on you, kid. Yuan Wu didn't flinch. He said nothing. His phone was already running a scan on his new opponent. Target, nocturnal feline mutant. Rank, level 2. The system scan made one thing clear. His level might be low, but this one was far stronger than the mutant from yesterday. Yuan Wu smirked, eyes sharp as he stared down his opponent. The mutant glared back, eyes full of bloodlust. In the blink of an eye, he launched himself into the air, fast and silent. Yuan Wu reacted instantly, summoning the Hammer of Thunder into his hand midair. This one was fast, too fast. He needed to land a decisive blow before he lost the initiative. As expected, the cat-like mutant vanished, then reappeared right in front of him, claws slashing downward, only to be blocked with a loud clash by the Thunder Hammer. Yuan Wu could feel the sheer pressure of that speed. If he wanted to win, he'd have to strike the moment that thing blinked away again and make it count. But the mutant had already read him like a book. With a sidestep and a brutal kick, he struck Yuan Wu's arm, spun midair, and sent him flying with a second blow. Yuan Wu had only just begun adjusting to his divine power, and clearly, he wasn't used to close combat yet. The mutant gave him no room to recover. He blurred forward again, faster than before. In a desperate move, Yuan Wu raised his Hammer of Thunder to block. The mutant sneered, eyes gleaming. No battle experience, huh? And yet you can summon divine weapons. You're hiding some juicy secrets, aren't you? He lunged again, claws ready to strike the killing blow. But just before impact, a system alert rang out from the phone. Activate divine enchantment? You may infuse your weapon with a monster's power. Yuan Wu didn't hesitate. Do it. Enchant now. Instantly, a pillar of violet light shot into the sky, lighting up the entire alley like a storm had just hit. The sudden burst of violet light made even the mutant pause, curious for the first time. But only Yuan Wu knew. His Hammer of Thunder was now enchanted with poison. The moment the mutant grabbed the handle, a searing burn shot through his palm. Instinct kicked in. He leapt back, away from the danger. Yuan Wu kept his eyes locked on him, expression cold. The enchantment added power, yes, but it was draining his soul core energy fast. This needed to end. Soon. I was just learning your rhythm, Yuan Wu said flatly. But now you better fight for real. Because I'm done holding back. The mutant let out a twisted laugh, mocking him with every breath. Oh, the little human wants to act tough now. You want to see my power? Fine, let me show you. As he spoke, coarse black hair began to sprout from his scorched hands. In seconds, it wrapped around his claws, forming a thick, beast-like armor. He bared his teeth in a twisted grin. My fists don't feel your burn anymore, but I'll still enjoy tearing you apart. At this point, the mutant's glowing green eyes had turned vicious. He was out for blood, and launched himself forward in another ferocious charge. Yuan Wu spun the hammer of thunder in his hand, a cold grin on his face. So your fists are armor now. Great. Let's play. Their next clash, hammer versus claws, was nothing short of explosive. The impact sent shockwaves through the alley. Yuan Wu was pushed back slightly, but the mutant staggered, injured. Ironically, the pain only seemed to excite him more. They locked eyes, neither willing to back down. Then boom, both fighters lunged at once. The exchange was blindingly fast, beyond what any human could track. The mutant laughed wildly. Faster? Come on, let's see how long you last. That's when it hit Yuan Wu. Speed wasn't just his weapons problem, IT was this guy's core specialty. And this prolonged duel was draining his soul core energy at an alarming rate. He'd meant to end this quickly, but somehow, without even realizing it, he'd been dragged into a war of attrition. Just then, a system alert echoed through Yuan Wu's phone, and the divine voice returned to his mind. Yuan Wu, the path to godhood is paved with trials. Each battle you survive is a lesson carved into your soul. Now, you may choose to upgrade your weapon, but the cost is your soul core energy. Will you accept? Yuan Wu grinned wide, fire blazing in his eyes. Death doesn't scare me. Why would battle? I accept. In the next moment, the hammer of thunder began to pulse violently. Crackling with surging energy, his soul core energy dropped by 10 points. The hammer grew in size and intensity. Yuan Wu raised it high overhead and roared. You won't wear me down? Fine. Let's see how you handle this. The mutant's expression twisted that he sensed the danger and tried to dodge again. But Yuan Wu was already faster. The thunder hammer slammed forward, a direct, crushing hit. This upgraded weapon consumed energy by the second, meaning every moment it stayed active, the damage only climbed. Yuan Wu stared him down, raised the hammer once more, and bellowed, "This is the price for looking down on humanity." But Yuan Wu didn't strike the mutant directly. Instead, he slammed the hammer down onto the ground, a quake-inducing blast that cracked the earth beneath them, launching the mutant several meters through sheer force alone. A new system alert chimed, frowny face energy source reclaimable. Instantly, a strange connection formed between the two bodies. Yuan Wu's soul core began absorbing the mutant's power, his energy rising rapidly. Then, another prompt appeared, frowny face victory achieved. Do you wish to execute the enemy or invoke Dominion Protocol? Yuan Wu stared at the broken figure before him, a cold smirk on his face. The Dominion of Kings. I choose eternal servitude. Let him live, bound to me, forever. The mutant looked up, dazed and bewildered, eyes filled with confusion. But in the next moment, his body began to glow with golden light, and the system's decree took hold. Just seconds ago, he'd sworn to rip Yuan Wu apart. Now he dropped to one knee and bowed deeply. His voice was solemn, unwavering. You are my king. From this moment forward, your will is my law. Yuan Wu reached into his pocket and pulled out a soul core pearl, handing it to the kneeling mutant. With a faint smile, he said, "Here, recharge your power. That fight taught me a lot." Hearing praise and receiving a gift from his master, the mutant beamed with joy, dropping to the ground in full submission. The other henchmen, however, stood frozen in confusion. Did our boss seriously get brainwashed after one fight? But before they could speak, Luo Qi stepped forward and landed a punch on each of them. Then he pointed at Yuan Wu and shouted, "From now on, this man is my lord. You see him, you call him boss." Got it. Overwhelmed by power, the henchman had no choice but to nod obediently. Back home, Yuan Wu returned to his daily training regimen that he knew that without a stronger body, no power would last. 2 weeks had passed since Luo Qi's submission, But the god's voice still echoed in his mind. For a mere human to stand against a mutant like Luo Qi, you've done well. But this is only the beginning. Your path leads to the 9 kings of Dominion. In just a month, Yuan Wu had faced death, strange encounters, brutal fights, and a kneeling enemy. He could feel the weight pressing down on him, but also the fire rising within. The true war was just beginning. The reason Yuan Wu spared Luo Qi wasn't just to test his king's command. It was strategy. Luo Qi had deep ties inside the Beastkin Syndicate. With him as an inside man, tracking down the 9 kings would be much faster. After a round of training, Yuan Wu was ready to call in night, until a message popped up on his phone that IT was from Spikehead. Surprisingly, the guy hadn't run away after the library incident. In fact, he'd witnessed Yuan Wu's entire fight, and now he was begging for money. Not just any money, he was deep in online debt. That raised a red flag. According to Luo Qi, every loan app in this city was secretly run by the Ling Syndicate. Yuan Wu didn't care much about Spikehead's life, but if the Ling Syndicate was involved, he had a score to settle. After all, they served the 9 kings. He followed the address Spikehead gave him and found himself in a dimly lit basement. There, lounging like a cat in heat, was a woman oozing with charm. But a quick scan from his phone revealed her true identity, a member of the Moonlit Hex clan, that a bewitching race known for draining humans dry, body, mind, and soul. Yuan Wu's tone was cold and direct. "Where's my friend? I'm here to pay off his debt." The woman didn't answer. Instead, she let out a flirty giggle, tilting her head like a cat sizing up her prey. In a flash, she pounced on him, pressing her body close, her voice sultry. "You're way too handsome, baby. If you treat me right, maybe I'll just cancel the debt backslash." She had the audacity to flirt with a god's chosen. She straddled Yuan Wu with a mischievous gleam in her eye, completely unfazed. Leaning in, she whispered, "Spend the night with me, and your friend walks free." Yuan Wu tensed as her hands roamed over him. His mind resisted, but something deep down wasn't entirely against it. But then his vision blurred. The woman had used a spell. When his senses returned, what he saw made his blood run cold. Men and women chained like livestock, their eyes hollow. Spikehead was among them, looking terrified. Yuan Wu scanned the room for a clue or weakness, but found nothing useful. Worse yet, his own wrists were now shackled. That pissed him off. He'd come here to negotiate, and now he was the one trapped? He pulled hard, once, twice, until suddenly, snap, the chains broke apart in his hands. That's when he remembered he wasn't some helpless human anymore. There was a god inside him, and that made all the difference. Yuan Wu tried to summon his phone through sheer willpower, but no matter how many times he called for Ju Yi, nothing happened. A quick scan with his divine sense revealed the worst. The phone had been left back at the office. Just then, the sharp sound of high heels echoed through the hallway. Click, click, click. It was the fox demon woman, furiously yelling in her phone. "I told you I want young and energetic men, not some crusty old geezer past his expiration date." Whatever the caller said must have pissed her off, because she screamed and threw the phone to the floor, shattering it. A weak voice came from a woman chained to the wall, barely audible. "Please, let me go. I promise I'll pay the debt." The demoness cracked her knuckles and grinned cruelly. "Oh, sweetie, you don't owe me anything anymore. Your body already paid in full. Now, it's time for your final performance." With that, she pressed a finger to the woman's forehead. A glowing stream of life essence was forcibly pulled from the victim's body. She screamed in agony as her life force drained through every pore and orifice. Moments later, her body collapsed, limp and ghostly pale. The demoness waved a hand casually. "Still breathing? Good. Send her to the low-level grunts. They'll enjoy a warm snack." Yuan Wu stared coldly at the scene unfolding before him. Of course he wanted to help that girl, but if he acted rashly, he'd be risking everything. He needed to figure out what these demons were really up to. Why were they gathering so much life essence? And where were the divine kings hiding? Before he could think any further, a group of men in black wheeled over a cart from the shadows. And when Yuan Wu saw what was inside, his fists clenched and his jaw tightened with rage. The cart was piled high with corpses, lifeless, discarded like trash. The fox demon woman strutted over, her smile dripping with wicked charm. "You're different from the others. Handsome. Most would be screaming by now. But you're kind of fun. I think I'll play with you myself." She waved her hand and ordered, Bring this cutie over here. Tonight I want something fresh. Hands roamed all over him as he was dragged forward. Yuan Wu's face darkened to the edge of fury. These monsters thought they could humiliate him? Fine. He'd give them a surprise they'd never forget. At that very moment, Yuan Wu finally sensed the location of his phone. With a furious roar, he summoned his weapon with sheer willpower. In a flash of lightning, the Thunder God's hammer materialized in his hand. The nearby thugs didn't even have time to react before they were sent flying across the room. One after another, they were crushed, each death fueling his energy as their essence was absorbed. For the first time, Yuan Wu truly wanted blood. These monsters had gone too far, and some sins could only be paid in blood. When the last mutated thug fell, the room fell eerily silent. The fox demon woman looked stunned. How could a human possess such terrifying power? But she didn't panic. This was her domain, after all. With a casual flick of her slender finger, glowing violet runes lit up the air. In a heartbeat, a thick fog swallowed the basement, twisting space into something otherworldly. The purple energy beam shot straight at Yuan Wu. With a flick of his toe, he dodged it effortlessly. The air carried a sweet scent. Yuan Wu instantly realized it was laced with something meant to knock him out. Oh, playing with poison now? Fine, I'll play with you. Without hesitation, he enchanted his weapon. The Thunder God's hammer glowed with toxic energy and a burst of agility-enhancing sparks. In the blink of an eye, Yuan Wu vanished into the fog. He reappeared behind the fox demon like a ghost, whispering coldly, "Time to die." The 3-ton hammer slammed into her back. An ordinary human would have been turned to paste, but she was no ordinary being. Blood spilled, but she was still standing. With a twisted grin, she taunted, "That's all you got?" Yuan Wu didn't flinch. He smashed the hammer into the ground, releasing a web of lightning. "Let's see you laugh through 1,000,000 volts." Her body convulsed violently, collapsing in a paralyzed heap. Overwhelmed by the electric surge, she screamed, "Stop! I give up." But to Yuan Wu, her cries were nauseating. When all those people begged for mercy, did you ever care? He raised the hammer high, and with a furious roar, brought it crashing down, this time with vengeance crackling in every spark. Just as Yuan Wu's hammer was about to crash down, a pink energy beam shot in and blocked the blow. Then ricocheted straight back at him. The demon woman spun around, face twisted in rage. She screamed, "Hey Chi, kill him. I want his skin peeled and his bones snapped." Yuan Wu just grinned. Faced with a mob, he looked anything but worried. A group fight? Huh, that's my specialty. With a flick of his hand, he activated Royal Command. Every mutant whose energy had been harvested earlier now marched forward and formed ranks, completely under his control. His voice was cold and commanding. "Soldiers, focus everything on that witch. Break her down. The guy, he's mine." He clenched his fist, eyes gleaming. "Let's see what a so-called battle general is really made of." The dark-clad soldiers responded in unison. "As you command, Master." Hei Chi cracked a sinister grin. "This human, there's something twisted about him. I'd love to tear him open and study what makes him tick." The demon woman growled, shaking with fury. He electrocuted me so bad I nearly wet myself. I'm gonna rip him apart." The 3 death soldiers charged first, launching a brutal assault on the demon duo. Yuan Wu had only one goal: make Hei Chi submit. With his agility buff active, he vanished into a blur, aiming for another sneak attack. But Hei Chi dodged in an instant, as if he could sense it coming. The demon woman tried to assist, but got mobbed by the crazed soldiers, fighters who clearly had no fear of death. One clung to her like a pervert, hands wandering without shame. Another whispered lewd comments right in her ear. No matter how hard she struck back, they wouldn't let go. It was like trying to punch smoke, infuriating and pointless. Suddenly, one death soldier yelled, "For the master," and detonated a self-destruct curse. A deafening boom rocked the room. The demon woman's scream tore through the smoke and flame. Hei Chi's gaze darkened as he stared at Yuan Wu. "You realize what you've done? This is war with the Gu Lu Syndicate." He grinned menacingly. "Be a good little test subject. Let me dissect you, and maybe I'll let you die with less pain." Yuan Wu lifted his head, calm and unmoved. "You're a mutated freak who can't even kill a human, and you dare call me prey? I didn't come to run. I came to wipe out your entire kind." Yuan Wu slammed his thunder hammer into the ground, sending tremors through the entire chamber. The demon woman's clothes were torn to shreds. She screamed at Chi. They've gone insane. Help me now. Before she could finish, the second death soldier detonated himself in a burst of blood and flame. The third charged in right behind, eyes wild with fury. And just as the chaos peaked, Yuan Wu materialized behind her like a shadow. His hammer came down with devastating force, slamming into her spine. Soul core reclaimable. Finally, the system notification chimed. Yuan Wu smirked. Royal command, I claim her. She will serve me forever. Chi's eyes widened. What? Even high-level mutants can be enslaved? That's not just sorcery. Yuan Wu chuckled coldly. Losing one ally might not matter. But what if I give you a new enemy? One who'll fight you to the death. Spend one power point. Upgrade weapon. In an instant, Yuan Wu's warhammer morphed into a massive battle axe, its edge gleaming with lethal intent. He sneered, come on then, you pathetic freak. If you can't handle one of me, how about two? Perhaps due to his unique nature, Yuan Wu had always outclassed others in the same tier. Now, even the pressure from a warlord-class enemy had vanished. He licked his lips. Guess this fight will end quicker than I thought. Hey, you're all about to get wiped out. Go ahead, say your tearful goodbyes to Big Sis. Chi laughed coldly. Goodbyes? Please, we're not into that human drama. You're different, hard to categorize with our usual metrics. Still, no matter how strange you are, you reek of humanity. And humans have one fatal weakness, your bleeding heart compassion. I've bound my soul energy to these corpses with a death curse. As long as I live, they might see their families again. But if I die, they all drop dead. I may not beat you, but why should I fight you at all? All I need is a distraction. Are you really going to strike them down? Chi grinned wickedly. Can you really be that heartless? Yuan Wu's eyes turned to ice. You're disgusting, but you picked the wrong guy. Not all humans are soft. The dead are just that, dead. I've clawed my way through hell to stay alive. I'm not here to mourn corpses. Just making it through the day is hard enough. I don't have spare sympathy to waste on anyone. TC8 sounds righteous coming from you. But can you actually do it? Can you really butcher your own kind without guilt? Chi sneered and snapped his fingers. Zombified humans, attack. Their suffering is your karma. Yuan Wu, you're the one who should be begging for forgiveness. Yuan Wu roared and lunged at Chi, but the wave of brainwashed humans and corpse puppets blocked his path. Dodging while smirking, Chi taunted, why go full massacre? Ever heard of mercy? Yuan Wu scoffed. Mercy? Coming from you? Your face is filthier than hell itself. Suddenly, the demon woman turned on Chi, smashing him square in the back. Caught off guard, Chi snapped, unleashing a vicious counterattack. You're dead weight, till the end, get lost. Yuan Wu didn't hesitate. He swung his battle axe straight at Chi's back. You'd even turn on your own sister? People like you don't deserve to be compared to humans, he sneered mid-swing. Just then, the demon woman triggered her self-destruction, flooding the room with volatile energy. A thunderous explosion erupted. Chi took the blast head-on. Yuan Wu's eyes sharpened. He seized the opening and launched a relentless assault. Ever since I met my first Hyperborn, I've been wondering what the hell I really am. And now I know. You monsters who threaten humanity's balance. You created the hunter meant to destroy you. And that hunter is me. Chi was finally torn apart, and the system's voice echoed. Spirit core retrieved. A prompt followed. Victory confirmed. Choose between execution or absolute dominion. Yuan Wu growled, execution. As the words left his mouth, his 10th divine artifact, Mirror 1, began to materialize in ghostly form. Yuan Wu stared down at Chi. I strip you of everything you once were as a Hyperborn to pay for every sin you've committed. Return to the source. Your essence now belongs to me. In that instant, Chi's body burst into radiant gold light. And then, with a flash of pure white, he vanished completely. System update. Additional spirit core absorbed. Yuan Wu has advanced to Warlord tier, rank 1. New feature unlocked. Daily and weekly power quests are now available. Material refinement upgraded. Use fewer cores to forge higher quality items. Yuan Wu's gaze slowly regained clarity. That was Mirror 1's consciousness. It only lasted a few seconds, but I completely lost control of my body. So he really is running a hidden protocol. Next time I trigger an execution, I need to fight to keep control. And the new class system, My arsenal's unlocked too, stepping from Weapon Master to Warlord. Yeah, my skills just got a serious upgrade. Just then, Yuan Wu's underling rushed over. Boss, you alright? The Night Stalker Cat Spirit gasped. Boss, you've leveled up again. Your aura and eyes, they're on a whole new level. Yuan Wu didn't bother explaining. How'd it go on your end? Looks smooth from the outside. Of course, the Cat Spirit grinned proudly. Your orders? I never messed them up. Every grunt downstairs has been cleaned out, surveillance wiped, files torched, just waiting on your go for the final blaze. We also secured the hard drive from the president's office and everything in the safe. There's a USB drive too. It has a full spreadsheet of spirit core distribution, but the energy output listed is insane. I doubt even a Sky-tier Hyperborn could control that much power. And the person listed in charge, it's someone named Shali. I've never seen her in person, but rumors say she's a high-ranking enforcer for the Elder Council. Folks in the guild whisper her nickname, the Morning Banshee. They say she's not human, ordinary people can't tell, but I bet you could, boss. She's got horns. Yuan Wu gave a satisfied nod. Good work. You've done well. Then his voice turned cold. All the cat spirits who came today swore their clan oath, right? If any of you slip up, you know what that means. You don't need to worry, boss. I hold 7 of the Luo clan. Always play it safe. All 9 of my siblings signed a bloodline pact. If anyone betrays us, their veins will rupture and they'll drop dead. No one gets to back out. Yuan Wu gave a subtle nod. With the Kingsbound Pact in place, Luo Qi can't lie to me. Ever since I acquired my first divine tool, my luck's been on the rise. Even my first underling turned out to be rock solid. Cleanup went smoothly. Luo Qi and the crew torched the 9th Division's Shady Loan Factory. As usual, the media chalked it up to a random industrial fire. No mention of what really went down. Before long, Yuan Wu returned home. That battle taught him more than just combat skills. It was his first true look into the world of the Hyperborn. Yuan Wu chuckled in approval. You really know how to get things done. One of these days, you gotta tell me what shady jobs you did before. Your flattery game is just too damn smooth. Just then, someone knocked on the door. It was Yuan Wu's aunt. As she stepped inside, he asked, Annie, what brings you here? She hesitated, coughing lightly. Hope I'm not disturbing you. I just wanted to talk about something. The compensation from your parents ran out half a year ago. You were brewing medicine every day back then. Our gas meter was spinning like crazy. And your dad's education fund? We couldn't touch that, remember? Now that you're coming home every weekend and your classes don't seem too busy, I thought maybe it's time you found a part-time job or something. You gotta start thinking about your future. I mean, I can't support you forever, right? Your cousin Xiaoyu and her boyfriend are getting serious too. Might get married soon. Not many kids these days can afford a house and raise kids on their own. When that happens, we might need to sell this apartment to get them a place in a good school district. Your uncle and I can move to the old house in the suburbs. Without a word, Yuan Wu handed her a gold bar. This is from my mom. She left it for me. You can use it for the household. I'm planning to rent a place near campus. It'll be more convenient. His aunt stared in disbelief. This has to be a kilo, right? Your mom gave you this? From her family side? Why didn't your dad ever mention it? Oh, come on. Why would you rent a place? If you don't want to stay in the dorms, just come home. Don't make it sound like I'm kicking you out. With that, she quickly closed the door behind her. Yuan Wu let out a quiet chuckle. He knew exactly what kind of person his aunt was. Finally, on the 21st, Yuan Wu arrived at the Cloud Spire Garden Tower. Luo Qi checked in via comms. Boss, I'm already up on the 230th floor. Still working on how to reach the rooftop garden. Just a heads up, you'll need to enter through the West Annex, Gate A. There's a private express elevator to the top. My siblings are waiting at the bar downstairs for your orders. Yuan Wu sighed. Got it. You've told me 3 times already. You're starting to sound like my mom. And remember, don't rush to the top even if you figure it out. Priority 1 is gathering intel. If that Banshee turns out to be too strong, I'll retreat. No need for a head-on fight. Wait for my command. Suddenly, Yuan Wu spotted a familiar group. His aunt's family had shown up too. That guy must be Xiaoyu's boyfriend. Great. What are they doing at this event too? Trouble really follows fast. Meanwhile, atop a nearby high-rise, a shadowy figure watched the crowd below. So that kid did show up. Perfect. Let's see if he's truly connected to that one. Stay calm. No le moves. Until we're sure, he's not officially our enemy. Yuan Wu, you ungrateful brat. His aunt exploded the moment she saw him. Now that you've recovered, you're here to humiliate me? Still mad we sold your parents' house to buy this bigger one. Huh? Wasn't that because we needed more space after you moved in? You agreed to it too. Honestly, I regret taking you in right after the accident. 3 years of raising you, what a joke. Even a dog knows to wag its tail. But you're just a thankless leech. I knew you'd turn out like this. Try to make me look bad in front of everyone? Is this how you honor your father's memory? Yuan Wu could only sigh inwardly. She has no idea. Half the waitstaff in this lobby are supernaturals in disguise. This banquet was organized by one of the masterminds behind the Soul Energy Project. There's definitely something dangerous going on tonight, but I can't explain any of that to them. So all I could do now is find a way to get them out quietly and safely. Yuan Wu had intentionally arranged for his aunt's family to leave early. What was coming next? He couldn't guarantee their safety. But just as they were about to be escorted out, Xiao Yu's boyfriend stepped in to begin. You guys get back to your posts. Then he turned to the family, putting on a warm smile. Sorry about the mix-up. There's a little hiccup in the lobby. Totally my fault. Please don't be upset. You're my guests. Who dare accuse you of anything? Come, wait in my office for a bit. Once the banquet starts, I'll escort you back and myself. And tonight, eat and drink whatever you like. It's all on me. Meanwhile, Yuan Wu had entered the grand banquet hall and finally spotted her. The girl with horns. System alert. A powerful being is watching you. Banshee of Morning, Shali. What's her play? Yuan Wu frowned. Even Zhu, he hasn't picked up any killing intent. Is she planning to strike before the banquet begins? But none of the other supernaturals seem to be locking onto me either. According to Luo Qi's intel, her combat level caps at tier 3 battle general. But she looks far too confident. If I run now, I'll be flying blind. And the next time we meet, I'll know nothing while she knows everything. No, better to take control now. With my current strength, I got a real shot at winning. And if it turns out I can't beat her, I'll use every trick I've learned, every skill point I've earned, and force an escape from the outer walls. It's risky, but doable. From here on out, Yuan Wu knew he had to prepare for the worst-case scenario. Just then, the world around him shifted. He was pulled into an illusion, and above his head, a majestic dragon coiled through the sky. He didn't hesitate. Summoning his weapon, he struck out at the so-called Banshee of Morning, Shali. But the woman remained calm. We're not your enemies. The moment you reached the battle general level, our spiritual links were connected. Soon, you'll be able to sense us clearly. We may be supernatural beings, but our mission aligns with yours. We are enforcers, those who punish rogue supernaturals. And now, we had to confirm whether you truly carry the will of that man. At that moment, Shali stopped attacking. A mouse suddenly appeared beside her, speaking fluently. Test complete. I know what you're thinking. She's not the Banshee of Morning. Wrong guess / her name's Wang Shi. She's my partner. We've basically confirmed it. You carry that man's essence, and part of his power flows through you. For now, we recognize you as that man's successor, the mouse said seriously. But there's something else within you. A cold, ruthless energy we can't ignore. We'll need to take you to someone who can trace the source of that power. If it's harmless, we'll stand by your side to fulfill the mission. Yuan Wu dropped into a combat stance, his eyes sharp. You show up, start a fight, then switch to riddles halfway through. Why the hell should I trust you? Unless I beat you both. Then I'll know if your words are worth a damn. The mouse chuckled. We knew you wouldn't trust us right away. But you should also know, with your current strength, you won't stand a chance against both me and Wang Shi. Yuan Wu grinned. Then let's find out the hard way. I was just looking for a good warm-up. No need, the mouse smirked. We never planned to fight you for real. The banquet's begun, and tonight, things are gonna get ugly. We're gonna stop the real Banshee's plan. Remember this, the blue mouse handed Yuan Wu a strange item. At least on this front, our goals align. Take this, it's proof of our sincerity. You'll be needing it soon. Think carefully about our offer. Yuan Wu watched them leave, thinking to himself, those two really weren't trying to kill me. That flame earlier had no heat at all. Everything before that was an illusion. The silent, cold-faced girl, she can create illusions, and she's a beast in close combat. And that blue-skinned mouse, his power must be tied to speech, maybe persuasion or mental manipulation. Together, their abilities cover my weaknesses. Could they really help me defeat him someday? Just then, the banquet officially began. Yuan Wu's eyes locked onto a figure across the room. The real Banshee, Shali. So she really is a rare species. First time I've seen one. And the four standing next to her? All commander-level fighters. 5 elites in one place, this won't be easy. Damn it. All the products are being brought out from that back storage room. Unless I go down there myself, I'll never figure out what they've tampered with. And the people who've taken that liquid, something's clearly off about them. Why keep the product locked in a room, anyway? They could just leave it out in the open. No, this whole conspiracy, the product is the core of it. The ideal move? Wipe out every dose of that thing without anyone noticing. That way I kill the plan and walk out clean. I've already sealed the door. I didn't come here to kill you. But until you beat me, no one's getting out. I want answers, the real purpose behind this banquet. But if you'd rather throw down than talk, I'm more than ready.